And hello, what is up, everybody? Fine, fantastic, and effervescent. Either which way, much peace coming through. Another impromptu stream on the FairGrow 420 channel. Appreciate everybody's presence. Hope we're doing pretty chill. Just keeping in a balance in this sense of chaos and distortion. But anyway, before I go any further, let me just stop. Give my acknowledgement, respect, and recognition to all the original and traditional custodians to the land masses around the world, that being the indigenous tribes and people, representatives past, present, and future. Saying this in an effort to try and bring about a broader sense of awareness and harmony between us all, different cultures coming together, and our connection to the earth and the wind, the water, the plants. It's very important, and that's the essence of human beings. It's the essence of our existence and our survival. So I think we really need to take some time to recognize that, and youth and the next generation grasp a sense of that from our origins, and let that build and grow. So, and also where I am broadcasting from in the Adelaide Plains, this is Ghana country. So with that being said, let's hopefully recognize that nature has a remedy. Ganja is the greatest gift given, and we need to free the yarndi a little bit. So I do hope the visual is coming through clear and fine enough. I haven't checked it myself. I really do appreciate everybody's presence. If you could show a little bit of support either way, it's all right. Hit the like and comment. I would really appreciate it. And while I'm talking about promoting channels, because I really do feel like, the content and the audience really should just speak for itself, and, you shouldn't be really pleading for support and whatnot. But anyway, each to its all. It's now part of the trend. But I started up a new channel, FairGrow Freestyles. It's basically going to be content that's YouTube promotable, I guess, because cannabis channels don't really get the opportunity to be promoted. They're restricted by the age restrictions, so they're not populated in people's timelines and things like that. So yeah, with that being said, I started that up yesterday and just going to continue and dropping like content on that channel on a daily basis. So do check it out if you get the time. It's called FairGrow Freestyles. I could drop a link actually. I'll drop a link to it. Oh, that's not literally to. That's not there. Anyway, I'll get to it a little bit later. Yeah, so just yet thought I'd impromptu the thing down and just have a bit of a chop, but either way, nothing much really that fanatically fancy going down. I might go into YouTube and just see if there's any new cannabis news. Although actually, I should have a look. I haven't had a look at that, the new federal legislation. So that's probably something I could have a look at. Because obviously it's been spoken about, the new federal bill. I just heard someone from the community talking about it. Yesterday, referring to 6 plants. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Oh, it's New South Wales, maybe. Anyway, bit of proper information for everybody. Let's get it. Kingy, Empress, much peace, Falcon, Daniel Berry. What is up? I really appreciate all you guys. Got some pretty good info here now. Bring this up. Share the screen. Share this one. Okay, as I was just talking about, so this is just a Google Australian Cannabis 2023 federal bill. Australian Greens announced a plan to legalise cannabis in the country by 2023. New South Wales Senator David Shoebridge announced on Twitter on Monday, September 26th, that he has obtained legal advice showing that the Greens could pass a bill to legalise adult use of cannabis at the national level. Okay, that was from September 2022. I was hoping one day ago. So there's a few. It's obviously still in the works, but probably very much, hopefully, getting closer and closer. But the main thing is the stipulations and like the clause points of the whole bill. Admittedly, I didn't really. I wanted, there was kind of thoughts of you writing to these members of parliament and trying to see the proposal before it's in its final draft, so you can maybe add your points, because that's pretty much what it's about, right? The public people writing to these members of member of parliament, formal documents, so that they can take it into account. But just the thoughts off the top of the brain, where it's a very corporate heavy industry at the moment, not really focused on patient based and grassroots cannabis culture, more so just monetary viewpoints, just corporations getting bigger and bigger. So those clause points would hopefully be in a state where, or in a situation to help out those that are slightly disadvantaged in this current situation, by maybe ability to be eligible for one, which is pretty simple. There's a lot of factors you can fall under, but the price point, that's a huge part. The price point is a massive part. It would take out half of people's wages, their weekly wage, just to medicate and have a sense of wellness about their life. So, and then so those people, I would hope, would have the chance to plant on their own in their yard, to be able to produce plants for their own medication. So anyway, we'll go on here. This was I might have read this one also, so we'll just go over to see state by state guide. Oh no, hang on, that's not the one I'm talking about. We've read that one, so go back. So legalize, it says news.com.au. Legalizing cannabis could generate tens of billions in revenue, enabling a big dole increase, Greens argue. Legalizing cannabis could generate $28 billion in taxes and allow the government to increase the dole by $80 a week. So, exclusive. Legalizing cannabis, yep, $80 a week. The Greens have the PO to wargame the revenue that could flow from legislation, a path embraced by Canada, where marijuana can be bought by adults at government-run stores and licensed private retailers. It remains a crime in Canada to grow more than 4 plants at home, smoke in public, carry more than 30 grams, or sell to anyone under age of 18. Under the Greens plans, you could grow 6 plants in Australia, but it would remain a crime to sell pot to anyone underage, such as teenagers. Figures obtained by the Greens from the PBO showed that the legislation of cannabis would generate more than $28 billion in government revenue in the first decade after legislation. Green Senator David Shoebridge, the party's justice spokesman, said the money generated could be used to raise the rate of job seeker and youth allowance by $80 a fortnight. Alternatively, it could be deployed to build more than 88,000 additional public housing units over the next decade to give 250,000 people a home. We know that legalizing cannabis reduces harm by keeping people out of the criminal justice system. This report shows how it will also bring tens of billions of dollars of public revenue as well, Mr. Shoebridge said. With the revenue generated from legalized cannabis, we can build new public housing for 250,000 people, or lift job seeker by $80 a fortnight. This is an opportunity for some serious investment in social justice. While the assumption is that the new drug law remains a state issue, Greens have advised that the cannabis could be legalized via federal powers. The pathway to legalizing cannabis, according to the Greens, is through the Commonwealth's power to regulate plant variety rights under the Section 51 of the Constitution. Legal cannabis makes enormous social and economic sense. When we legalize cannabis, we can take billions away from an organized crime, police, and criminal justice system, and we can spend it on schools, housing, hospitals, and social support, Mr. Shoebridge said. Well, this topic, like, it's anyway. I don't want to. Like, the points are really great, but a little bit that, I guess this is if you're a journalist, you've got to be really non-biased and just be saying, don't put your own emotion into it. But it's getting to me a little bit by the point, they're going over the same words, same talking points, like it's going to make jobs, it's going to have a house, you could put $80 more. So there's three little things when there's a huge sense of like humanitarian justice, like common sense, people in need, people in want. You are in a position of authority and stature, been supposedly qualified through education and then voted into these positions of a high way, like a very high income. But there's no real sincerity. I don't see that sincerity at all. I just see these people doing these things, saying these things to be a kind of like just face talk. They're just there in front of the camera, then they have their little spiel and try and be all what's the word, like hospital, no, what's the word, like just kind of they keep within themselves with manners, how everything's calm, everything's cool, it's all a smile, it's a slight giggle here and there, because they're going back to lunch after talking for 40 minutes, getting paid $2,000, and they'll go, have a great just living standards and things like that. Now, fair enough. Okay, they've gone through this education, they've gone through all of these things, but even in saying that, I would really feel people in that position to have more of a sincere want to help and sacrifice their own rather than be so superficial and just like act the part, play the part, talk the part, when in actuality, a lot of people are really, really suffering. And there's immense amounts of money, profits, just year by year going on. Anyway, because this is just, I haven't finished the thing yet. Because, it's just kind of getting to me, because what's the point of talking all this stuff and it's not actually helping, and it's just really creating more of just a jumble and arguing amongst each other. No sincerity behind it. Anyway, I'll keep going here. So, the Greens believe it could also make Australia an international tourism hotspot for dope smokers, with up to 10% of sales coming from tourists. It's all about money and making more corporate. There's no sincere, patient-based viewpoints and understanding. We're legalizing thing, which was for years, in a criminal sense, putting people through the justice system. And it just said prior in this document about, if cannabis is put into this particular category, it would take people away from involving themselves in the black market, which is something they obviously know, and they keep and continue, because it just, I don't know, it accentuates the justice system, people falling into the courts, getting fines, when we realize cannabis is so far away from powder narcotics. But even in saying that, I was thinking the other day, and I thought about it, because the price of current medical cannabis, it's very expensive, monthly doctor appointments, and the price of the actual flower, they're trying to make it comparative to what the black market was. It's basically just gone from being illegal at a certain price point, with all of the politicians constantly arguing the fact and hammering it down. Millions and billions of tax-free dollars are going into this illicit drug market, and it's so bad, it's criminal. So they've just flipped that and made all of that balance and revenue go to a corporate place now, and it seems to be all fine. So even in that frame of thought, I would dare think and dare say, why not take it back to prior to 1920s, and we could also have medicinal diacetyl morphine, medicinal cocaine, medicinal LSD, medicinal amphetamines, all like grown pure. So it's an actual, the substance is not so harmful for your body. It's actually doing what it's doing. It's an isolated molecule. I really sincerely feel, what's the difference if they've just taken this cannabis and made it so that the corporations can get so much money, and it hasn't really changed this sense of the criminal thing and illicit market. It's just now documented money going to these guys. The amount is just incredibly disproportionately off case. It's not focused. Anyway, I'm getting off point here because it gets to me. It really gets to me how, we've got these establishments that are being taken these decades to evolve, and they act as though they're in the position to really help and be doing the best thing for everybody, and they have everyone's interests at heart. But honestly, they don't. They have the establishment's interests at heart, and no matter what it is, if you're in the way, you are going to have to be taken out of the way. And if you are not helping, then or if you're against it, which is disgusting, because we're all human beings born onto this earth by our mother and father, through that natural course of events that took place. And that's the priority. That is the priority, being a human being breathing air under the sun, understanding leaves and water. That is, this is my anyway. We'll keep going. I'm getting a bit passionate about it, but it's definitely something I want to stand up for, because if you don't stand up for it, these things are just going to continue, and you'll have these superficial figures talking like they have your best interest at heart when they're just focused on money and how they're going to word this thing so that you can kind of accept it. So we'll go down here. Figures obtained by the Greens from the PBO show that the legislation of cannabis would generate more than 28 billion in government revenue in the first decade after legislation. See, the same facts have just been repeated 4 times in this same story. What's the basis of it? Like, there's no... Anyway, it is what it is, but it's quite disgusting to see that these people, because they're at the forefront. You've gone through university. This is the positions of society that are really notarized and given such credit and credentials. But then you go and talk nonsense like this, and they like spit at each other like children, like really like infants. And like, oh, you did this way, you did that way. Oh, this member of parliament is show. That's so superficial to talk in that sense of, like no sincerity there, just pointing fingers. Green Senator David Shoebridge, the party justice spokesman, said the money generated could be used to rate. We've heard that 5 times already, bro. $250,000, $80 a fortnight. Maybe I've gone up. Well, maybe that's why we read it 5 times, because I've already read it. Excuse me, I'm just getting fired up here. So anyway, the Greens believe it could also make Australia. Yeah, that's where we're up to. The revenue would flow from slapping the GST on sales, in addition to a company tax and a 15% cannabis sales tax. However, if a 25% cannabis sales tax were applied, revenue over the decade would rise to $36 billion. Under the plan, Australia would legalise the production and sale of recreational cannabis through a tightly regulated model and established by a Cannabis Australia national agency. The Cannabis Agency would oversee the legislation and regulation of recreational cannabis act as a sole wholesaler between producers and retail outlets, and set the wholesale price of cannabis, which would be based initially on the Australian street prices of cannabis and then fluctuate according to market forces. So this was written when? They're talking about the future new legalized federally cannabis, right? This is their little... It can be based initially around the price and then fluctuate according to the market forces, but I think that was the basic same argument for initial medical cannabis. It has now been 7 years of the system being in flow, hundreds of thousands of people signing up, paying full price, top price for this, but nothing's fluctuated. Prices have stayed the same, very high compared to the Australian street market. So just in basically from that sentence, no sincerity there at all. So it would also be responsible for issuing production licenses to cultivators and sale licenses to private retail outlets. I won't keep going because I'm getting a bit fired up and it's a bit boring, but obviously there was no real no stable or that weighted shift into this legalization movement. It's just, again, people proposing things all in the air, and time goes on, people are going to prison still. There you go. We've got one here from Sir Nexus. It's called political spinning bullshit, repeating a talking point, having a governing board of people who profit from said regulation. Agreed. So much peace to everybody. I'll as I said, was just an impromptu style talking trichome on Tuesday, but I really appreciate everybody's presence. Because we all understand, and we all, the people about this community, the solid ones, we have such benefit from cannabis. We love it so much. Gives us such a sense of wellness in life. It's, great for our health. There's just so many things there that, make us hurt. But then unfortunately, we're in a position where you have to tread so lightly. Like, if you to say one point that could get you in, like a criminal charge or get you, get you a fine. If you're not on the medic, it's really just so disheartening, really. And adding to the stress, this adds to people's conditions. Like, if it was kind of the ability was more relaxed, it didn't have to be complete. I would prefer complete deregulation, and just let the grassroots market work itself out. Like, because people with the high grade product and the quality will float to the top and will get the good business. There will be the people out there initially trying to rip and roar, and unfortunately this will happen. People will, it will take place, but just let that go out, let that flow out for a month or two, and the word will get around. And you don't want to have a really broad sense either. I would probably hope to see a more spotted, what's that word, like all over the place, little small communities that are looking after themselves, supporting themselves. They can obviously be in communication with each other, and just say one area is missing out on something, and they could transfer it over. That would be really beautiful in my mind. And I suppose same way as I say a lot of the time, it's not just about brainstorming and talking these points and expecting these things to happen, falling in their lap. It's obviously think about it in a realistic sense. Try and brainstorm it a bit, plan it out, write it down, look at it, think about it, do it again, and send it off. Send it to these people that on a need-to-know basis. Like, don't let it all out there straight away. Send some things to politicians, send some things to your community, link with the like-minded people, so that, hopefully something could happen. Because nothing, as I said, nothing will happen if it doesn't. Don't leave it in their hands to be floating around. Yeah, I mean, even with that, like, what is that? They're just talking points. As Nexus said, these people get up on a pedestal in front of a media conference, say these two things which they feel will gain some popularity and spark a little bit of support. But as I said, they speak in these forums for 20 minutes, and then they go have some top shelf wine, fine food, fine lunch, all at the taxpayers' pretty much expense. And they go to sleep, and they wake up again, and they talk the same old. But that's right. But I would hope it to be more sincere, with a more patient-focused, like, agenda to actually kind of balance out a little bit issues, rather than maybe band-aid it and things pop up again. But anyway, this is life, bro. It'll continue. It's just the way that it is, way that it will be. I was just trying to find that little what the legislation was, because according to the little video yesterday. But and on the point, I think the King B and Gear were talking about it, and how the federal legislation might be state what it states, but I mean, we'll read what it reads. But if each state boundary has a different legislation, the state police are well within the right to enforce that. But then at the same time, if you take that to court and then it's a valid legal argument that federally it was applied up to the judge and whatever that situation. But exactly. What was I saying? Yeah, like anyway, yeah, just we got to do what we do. Step forward, show the world it's not a bad thing. And hopefully it'll shine bright. Because it was interesting to hear that, and hopefully it can come through. And if it is just an overnight thing, that would be very interesting in the sense, like, the same way Thailand did it, I guess. But because we all know plants don't grow overnight, it takes months. It takes half a year if it's an outdoor season or something. So if the legislation was to change, like, it's not a matter of just going, oh, yep, cool, I'll put the beans out, and next thing you know, we've got some self-made flowers. It takes a long time, but you would hope that it takes away that stigma and sense of stress for the people that do have an outdoor garden, all for themselves. It's all a personal thing. It's a very calm, healing thing, really, because it's like exercise and meditation, because you're really calm and you're resonating with nature, watching something grow. For that, if that to change, then you have all that weight is taken off your shoulders, and you can you wouldn't be so like, oh, tell everybody and be proud of it, but you could not be so worried that things are going to happen. You can feel free to go out, water them, trim them, and not have that sense of stress going down. Appreciate everybody coming through. We got be about half an hour. Stay around for a little bit more. I hope everybody, if you're out there, you got some nice flowers yourself, partaking. It'd be good to hear what is going down. But yeah, it's I don't know, each to their own. People got to learn for themselves, but from my experience, for a longevity, generational, balanced sense of our existence, nature, survival, the cannabis plant is like at the forefront, a huge piece of a puzzle, that fits together and can bring such a sense of like amazement and calmness, just compared to everything else, And as the thing in the report saying there, or if cannabis was legalized on the federal level, it would take away from people going to the black market suppliers who most likely also have powder narcotics and dumping them all in the same little category and boat. So that's when they're completely nowhere near the same. Like, I don't know. Anyway, it's just my thoughts off the cuff, but whatever. It's a good one. What do they got? Yeah, the prices, that's what they talk about. That's what it's just said there. They're trying to base it around that. But thankfully, you've got the Indie Med ones, that selection, 15 grams, $90. I dare say, in my experience, I've never, to get a half ounce for $100 or under $100 is possible to find here in Adelaide. If you know somebody, and mates rates, possibly up in Queensland and Sydney, but generally no. So in that saying that, it's a good, but and that's what's mentioned here. That's how they've according to the Parliament, that was their plan. We'll base the price around that. But then, as I said, that's really got to me because nothing has fluctuated since the 7 years. Prices remain the same. Mega million yearly profits coming in for these companies. And is that the focus? Is honestly that the focus? Shifting something away from being illegal, like a natural plant that's sent people to prison, filled up the justice system immensely. I would dare say it would be 30% plus of all drug charges would be cannabis related in the court systems. Probably even, it could be even more. Like it'd be a heavy part of it, and they took that out of it. Look what goes on there. So. And yeah, anyway, so that's just a total shift of, these TVs saying, oh, the tax-free money from criminal organizations, which is wrecking our economy. But, it's just gone into now corporate hands. It's life. It's crazy. And as like we were talking about the other day on the stream, Peer was saying, because... And that's all I find, like the acceptance of people now more so, because a couple of decades ago, it was not really the given thing for people with a 9-to-5 job partaking in this society. It was like, from what I was advised, it was you make the choice. You're doing this as a career, like, in the black market, or you try and do the right thing, get a 9-to-5 job, or not say do the right thing, you try and do this or you do that. There's no in and if betweens. But now I really see a more so in between people doing, and that's kind of accepted in my view because it's stimulating the economy. Like, there is that, as Peter was mentioning, that the old mate is selling small things around the place. He goes to the corner shop, he buys food at the shop, he goes to buy some sneakers and buy some clothes, so the local place is getting the stimulation for the cash, and it's coming back around and stuff. Anyway, it's a sad state of affairs. It's just life. It's not going to change at all. Like, I'm not going to sit and whinge and fucking be like, oh, this is shit. It's a matter of putting your foot down and taking advantage of what you've what you've laid down. What they say, you reap what you sow. And listen to your heart, man. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to the nonsense from other people trying to sway you into doing what's beneficial for them. It's true, and it's being nice doesn't really get you much far. I've lost my lighter. Oh, there it is. Hey, we got 20 people in the house, man. Nearly. Hey, Death, what is up? Nice to see you. New a viewer all the way from UK. Friend of Tony Tones. I think Tony Tone even might be in the house too. Anyway, I do appreciate all your presence, and I hope you're all chilling. I did put the link down there in somewhere. What? Indie Med is not all medical. How do you mean there, Jono? What do you mean, brother? What's Marky saying? I know this kind of seems left of center to the topic of discussion at the moment, but how about... Oh, of course, man. Wire was a brilliant show. Absolutely awesome series. Randomly series. Like, it's like, what, 6 seasons? 7 seasons? Really wicked show. For people that haven't seen it, check it out. Oh, wow. We've got people coming and saying hello. What do you mean it's not all medical there, John? What do you mean by that? Because I've actually had... it's ranges. Like, Canada Reviews, it says 90, 95 or something for the 15. So depending on where you go, who you get it for, the concession. But worth it. Are you doing a bit of a DJ mix there? What's this? You should watch the documentary titled The Union. It's about exactly what you're talking about. Oh, all right. Give it a go. Hey, Tony. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm going to spark up a little bit here. So, giving thanks to the Gunzi gods as always, sincerely, because I recognize ganja as the greatest gift given. It's a sacrament. It's something it's a huge part of my life, but I just give thanks for it. And it's not like I consume it because I think it is the gift, and it's something that it's so naturally beneficial for us, like not just to go get it and so you get baked. It's like it brings such a sense of calmness between all connection to earth, and as like Rasta sadhus and things say, the ones they smoke to keep their mind focused on that ultimate universal energy and just be at peace and be accepted with it. Anyway, I don't know all the answers for sure. I'm just talking my truth. Much peace. Yeah, the war on drugs. Fucking drugs won, bro. Easy. Killing it. Anyway, once again, totally appreciate everybody's presence today. Just a little bit of a impromptu stream, but yeah, after I got you seeing, you got the chance to check out this channel, FairGrow Freestyles. It's a new channel I've made. I'm gonna dedicate it straight to just original music that I make, and like putting up freestyles every day, so that hopefully it can be promoted by YouTube and not get restricted all the time, so that there's an avenue to grow a channel. So this is the Canada Reviews website. For people that aren't aware, it just shows pretty much products that are available on the Australian Medical Program. We got the Sundays. I've got a bunch of new ones out. So this is the Alternative brand. A bit of up and down. No reviews as of yet, so I doubt there'll be pictures there. So T24, 23, 20, and a 30. Oh, they're coming out. Everyone's trying to bring this super potent THC flower into wow the audience or the patients. Zeta 2 T30 by Upstate, high THC, low CBD, indica dominant flower derived from Chem OG, $135 for the 10 grams. So very reasonable in the sense of its potency and its price, because we have other ones being $200 to $230 for a 30% 10 gram flower. So that's close to double the price. Just got to find out the quality though. Upstate Cedar 2 T30 is an indica dominant strain from Chem OG cultivar with 30% THC. This indica strain is ideal for evening use. Dominant terpenes, beta-caryophyllene, beta-mycine, and D-limonene. Lineage being Chem Dog and OG Kush. Its ETA being late February. It gives you a bit of a breakdown here. From Canada, GMP, so genetically modified. I haven't tried any Upstate yet. It's been up and down. There's been some people who liked it and some people that really disapprove. So circumstantial situation, people's chemical makeup, people's preferences. What else coming? Oh, there's another one here too, Sigma 13. Alfie, we've seen those. All right. Quite a few. It's pretty cool stuff. It's been a while myself, eh? Hey, Philly OG, Purple Split. The system is either broken or rusty. Nah, not yet, bro. Still, in a bit of a situation, so just give it a few weeks and I'll ring the doctor. Actually, I don't have to ring the doctor for this. It's just a matter of getting that thing ordered on Montu. But I'm a bit hesitant to do so because if I do so, and I'll be in a situation where if that's not here for like a week or 10 days, I'll I'll figure it out obviously, but I just prefer to do it when I have a bit more clarity of what's going down. Definitely keen though. There you go, Mixter. Fairly sure, unless you're with alternative crap, you can't get that. Oh, right. So that's another part of it. You can look at this selection, but it's only available through certain dispensaries, which is another like a heavy point that shows the corporate focus, the monetary focus. Like, because to my understanding, similar to I think America, you can't. They call it vertically integrated, so you can't be applying for licenses to dispense at the same time applying for the licenses to grow the product. So basically, according to my knowledge, it's you can't be growing a strain and then have the facility to go and sell that same strain. You make the choice between either or. But according to my understanding here, we're finding Alterna Leaf seems to be kind of vertically integrated in a way with this Upstate and Sundays as they offer selections to their current patients. On top of or as replacement for previous flowers that they have been prescribed. Very interesting. Yeah, so I thought basically that wasn't allowed in our medical cannabis system, and it's similar. It's either Canada can't do it and America can, or America can't do it and Canada. It's like something like this. I've seen it in the documentary, but hey, there's obviously ways to work around these things, and that's business and that's law. Like people just read between the lines, work around these things. And which is just what it is. You can't, to be. It's disappointing, but that is just the way it is, and it's just about putting your foot down yourself. Really not just trying to find that the direction you want to go, visioning that, trying to establish that solid foundation, because obviously it's so easy come, easy go. Something comes fast and quick. Expect it to just, you shouldn't be surprised if it goes just as fast. If you build that solid foundation for something, it's gonna, it's strength, so it take time to knock it down. And it's easier said than done. It's life, right? This is life. People trying to figure it out all the time. We've got all this shit that's just thrown at us to distort our mind, but we've got to try and listen to your intuition, your gut, and follow it. And then you will find people that link with you. I find a sense of like solitude to be really cool. I like being on my own and just being able to think and not have noise around and stuff like that. That's just one of my traits, though. Like, I really like that, but when I perform music, I like to bust it out really loud, but just in general, not a loud person and just blah, blah, blah. What is he? Oh, look out. There you go. Same old tricks, eh? Dude. Yeah, see, that's the thing, mate. Like, hopefully the true colours just shine, but the sad part is you've got people, youths, or new members consistently coming in that fall into these traps. But that's really disgusting too, because, do what you do. Obviously, but don't kind of, you can't be at the pedestal of Australian cannabis culture trying to be a representative on YouTube, and that's the way you behave, like, because that's not the representative of our culture. That's a rort. That's a gronk. That's a rat. If you do that amongst the community with people who are actually engaged and active, you're getting nowhere. You're going to have, it's not you've got to do proper bizzo, mate. You do it properly. and it's just smooth sailing from there. Not fucking anyway. It's true, and everybody sees it, isn't it? Seriously, it's funny though. That's pathetic. Like, it is what it is, but then, fuck. Anyway, funny. Anyway, I got fooled by that fool. You know, I was nice enough to say, look, I'll give you a bit extra even, and then just hear all this fucking bullshit come back. Appreciate you guys, bro. Appreciate you guys. I prefer to be hanging around people like this, man. Fucking people that understand that sort of shit. Anyway, good enough. Mad fellas. I'll probably be around for another 15 minutes and I'll shut it off. It'll be an hour. I think I've dropped the link there. Yeah, man. They're everywhere, dude. Like, that's cool, but just kind of, why not keep that as your, what's the word? What do you call it? Costume or identity. Anyway. Purple spliff, yeah. Let's see if there's any, cannabis content on Australia. I haven't seen this one yet. It's from 10 News, Channel 10. It's like a mainstream channel over here. Let's say exclusive Australian medicinal cannabis products set to soar. 10 News first. That's what they got to say.
A variety of ailments, but now one of Australia's largest medicinal cannabis companies is set to quadruple its production. 10 News First has been given exclusive access to a new and rare state-of-the-art facility that can not only cultivate plants, but also produce the medicinal products.
With its white walls and sterile equipment, this could be any lab. But this top-secret Brisbane location will soon be home to one of the country's biggest cultivation and production facilities for medicinal cannabis.
Gel caps, edibles, pastilles, and also distillate, so going to the making of vape pens and whatnot.
In the past, much of the goods have come from overseas, particularly Canada, but soon it'll be grown and turned into products on home soil. And the demand is higher than ever, and the industry booming.
In 2019, I think there was probably about $40 million spent on cannabis medicines. This year, it's looking more like sort of 250 million, and then next year's probably going to be 450 plus.
3 years ago, 144 doctors were prescribing medicinal cannabis nationwide. It's now skyrocketed to over 1,700. But experts say continued research is vital for doctors and patients' peace of mind.
We definitely need to be doing the science behind medicinal cannabis and providing a stronger evidence base for people to use medicinal cannabis.
While it's largely empty now, this room is one of 4 that will host up to 600 flowering plants each to be dried and made into medicinal products.
We want to be able to provide patients with the best quality product they can at the most affordable prices. And to do that, we've got a lot of work ahead of us in the next few years to shore up that production and manufacturing capabilities.
Eloise Lagros for 10 News First.
Hang on a minute. So that was interesting there. That was the ANTG kind of headman, I'm pretty sure. So that's the product which is pretty much the most expensive flower on our market. It came in initially as the most potent. Admittedly, I have tried it and it was nice. I've tried about 5 different lots, and the fifth one definitely wasn't good because I've heard a lot of people say similar things. It wasn't so uniform. It was a bit hit and miss. But the fact that it's, by far one of the most expensive products, just puts it in that position, and that might also be targeted at that upper class kind of product to give you that what's that? This that internal feeling or whatever it is that you've got that upmarket thing. But that was one thing I found kind of insincere. Excuse me for the last thing you said. They're trying to really put products at a price point where they're available for your customers, but I don't really agree with that, because 10 grams for 230 as opposed to a company that has a similar agenda to have well-priced products for the patients and often 15 grams for $90. There's a bit of a difference there. That's triple the price, $7 as opposed to 20. Admittedly, the expensive one probably is a little bit more potent and structured, but it's not triple times better. But anyway, another interesting thing was what I noticed, the size of the plants. You can see that through, but plants are flowering at probably a height of 4 feet, if that, 3 to 4 feet, and they seem to be fully mature. That might that might be also an avenue to have denser, more terpene prominent flowers. I'm not completely sure on that, but that would be my intuitive feeling. Having like a smaller, denser plant, the energy just doesn't have as much place to disperse, so brings about that final product, which we're all. Well, we've got some visitors in here, all the way from the UK. We've got Death, and all the way from New Zealand, Tony Tone. What is up, ladies? Hope you're doing fine and fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, man, just chilling, same old. How are you guys? Just
ditto.
You
I
know.
got stuff in the hand right now.
Oh, really? Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. See, it's another lovely thing. So many people in the world partake. We said it before, all different walks of life. They wouldn't come together, on a day-to-day basis. But cannabis brings these people together for something to talk about and have something that they can resonate over. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing, because there's so much bullshit in the world, people fighting. How are you going, Tony?
Yeah, not bad. Chilling.
Good.
I just
yeah.
I looked up and there is a cannabis clinic, New Zealand.
Okay. Yep. I'll have a look now too. They're offering the medical products.
Yeah, and I called them, but they're closed.
Oh, cool.
They're open from 9 to 5. But you can get like a free consultation with a nurse or something.
Oh, that's really excellent.
We've got natural cannabinoids in our system anyway, and we've got them in our brain, we've got them in our cells, we've got them in our organs, they're activators. We're meant to have this stuff, there's a reason, there's no coincidences,
Yeah. Facts. How is that thing? There's a structure which is identical and fits like a perfect jigsaw for thousands of years, and then for the past 100 years they're going to say, no, it's poison, it's just bad, it's bad. That really doesn't make sense.
Not in that. My mother started taking cannabis oil recently. She started getting an immune system problem, and her whole immune system started attacking her. She started becoming allergic to all kinds of things that she was never allergic to before. And she started taking regular doses of cannabis oil, and it's really helped her out. Like half the stuff that she was having allergic reactions to, she's no longer having reactions to, So there's other products, if you're not into getting high or other things, there's other ways that you can still partake, and it can help you medicinally,
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. And even being on the medical program myself, it's only been, say, 12 months or so, but those traits of the indica, the sativa, the CBD, they're so much more evident and prominent in these products. And so I feel the effectiveness completely. And as you're saying, like they say people with schizophrenic tendencies, they can be triggered with cannabis. But I would agree, but it's probably a sativa-based plant or product that's going to trigger it. So if they had a CBD or a heavy indica, I would probably say that it wouldn't trigger. You know, it would be
Right,
beneficial
I'd
for
agree
that
with that.
person.
I would agree with that because I've known that to be the case, and the same with people that are bipolar as well. I've known it to have an adverse reaction, and like you're saying in terms of the strains, making them hyperactive rather than chill.
Yep, yep. That's sad, and it's obvious, it's evident. The fact you just said your mother's had such a greater experience to a wellness of life. It's even improved her immune system, where like the products that she was given would probably be deteriorating it, but still, the big medical majority of them are turning away from the obvious benefit to these patients. They want to, obviously it doesn't make money for them, but that's really sad to, you'd keep somebody in a state of continued medication, which is just masking an issue
That's big
when,
pharma for you.
yeah, like you can really have them have a happy life and back to a sense of just wellness, anyway. So we see it, so go and try it yourself and do it. Like even my parents don't engage in anything like that currently because of it's illegal, right? And that's what they've been told, that's how they grew up.
Yeah, but
So
they've got to remember that it's been corrupted by the system in the sense that all big business, right? It doesn't suit them to grow cannabis, hemp, whatever you want to call it, in any shape or form, because there's so many other industries that would fall out. The bottom half of them would fall out, basically, if they did start doing plantations of hemp, because we all know that not only to use it in a human quality to help us, but in terms of using products, in terms of growing hemp and using that as a sustainable source of materials, from paper to making clothing, all kinds of things. And the amount of land that it takes to grow it, and the amount of water that it takes to grow it, and everything is far superior and far less than it is for any other sort of plant in terms of what you get from it and the amount of growth rate as well. We all know that.
Absolutely.
We know these facts are true. We know that it's just big business getting in the way of it all.
Yep, getting in the way of the people who aren't aware and haven't been involved, and they're just taking that word for granted, when if they were actually to view it and see people consuming cannabis, it's not harmful. They're not going killing anybody. It's actually helping them. The plant itself doesn't destroy the environment, as you said. It probably helps the land.
Right.
There's
You
so
think
many
about
things.
hemp used as a fuel, as an oil, as, like I said, to make paper, to make materials. You think about how many industries are threatened by that.
Yep. And how much money they currently make. And
Yeah, it's
it's
not just
like
about
money's
us
a huge thing.
consuming it. That's what I'm saying. If they could just keep it to that, but they know that it makes sense to grow it in all different ways for all different things as well.
Yeah, because you can even get hemp clothing, sheets,
Of course,
all.
yeah, exactly. And bags and all kinds of things. You could do away with a lot of plastics, a lot of man-made materials, a lot of factories, a lot of industries. They would all sink.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just a shame that they won't allow their market share to deplete in somewhat. Like even if they could still exist, right, and they just gave the population the choice. So if you wanted to go that way, you could go that way. They're going to lose the market share slightly, maybe completely, but I don't think completely, because you'd probably have still a slight portion of people that would go that way. But yeah, no, unfortunately, they just so like, what's the word? Just heavy-handed and heavy-footed that it's fucking their way or no way.
Yeah,
And
it's
if you
because they
try,
want, and this is why it's about getting the monopoly on it. Because when they can get enough revenue from something and get the monopoly on something, then they'll allow it. But until then, it's not even about your freedoms. It's literally about their purse strings.
Yep. It's factual.
But think how much it would save the government from fucking all the fucking cost that puts people in jail for it.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of people that are still in prison for
Hey.
like, charges for cannabis, for sure.
Yeah. And
Serving
the
long
private prisons get paid, eh? So they're the lobbyists.
Mm.
You know, they get paid to keep these people, like tens of $1,000s a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you get caught with more than just like a tinny, they class that as like you're a dealer in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Crap.
Well, it used to be the same here, and then they lessened the charge, and they tried to make it a lesser drug at one point, and they and ahed it, before it even went legal in the US. And then they reverted again. It's because like I said, it's not about whether they care about whether people are high or not. They want us sedate, if anything, and more pliable. It's not about that. It's all about, who's going to make the money off of the things and who's going to lose out with the money, and all the deals and all the manila envelopes need to be exchanged first.
Fully, in the car park.
That's it.
What sort of flower you burning? Do you know? Do you know the strain, or it's just a nice one?
What is it? The one that I've got at this moment? Oh, I've got two.
Yeah.
I've got two. I've got one that silver bubble. I've got
Nice.
and I've got some blue cheese, but I've only got a little bit of that left.
Nice, man. That sounds good. They've got, I've heard, I don't know, the medical program is opening up there too, right? In UK?
Yeah, but they're going to, they're going to license it all, and then it'll be privatized. So you're either on, or you're going to have to pay extreme prescription prices because it won't go on the NHS bill.
Yep. Okay, same thing
But
here.
then those that need it the most would be people that are, suffering, usually with some form of depression, mental illness, that will get that prescription, and they can ill afford to pay for that, and I don't know how it's going to be subsidised. What with our NHS almost at collapse because it doesn't get funded as it should do anyway.
Crazy. That's it. I like to think, everybody who consumes on a daily basis, I guess, just for that wellness, and they do, calms them down. It helps their mind or bit of pain. But there's a lot of people who have very severe, I guess, bone issues, the epilepsy, the cancer, the appetite, very, very severe illnesses, and their consumption of a small portion of cannabis really fixes their issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before my mum,
I feel for those people.
Even before my mum had that stomach complaint several years ago, she had one of many back operations that she's had now, and her first back operation, she had 1.5 vertebrae removed, and I mean, I felt so sorry for her, and she was in agonizing pain. No position would do any good, and I said to her, you need to hit this sort of thing, and I passed her the spliff that I had in my hand, and she was like, no, she hadn't smoked since before I was born, like in the 60s, and she was, I said, just fucking smoke it, will you? And so she did, and it alleviated the fucking pain a little, and she was,
Wow.
I think for the next 3 months she was hitting it.
Wow.
No, it's really good for pain, and for if you got cancer and you're doing chemo, it stops you from.
Yeah, because the pain receptors, we all know it's muscle relaxants, pain receptors, all of these things, it has an effect on them.
My mate, he was only in his early 20s and he had prostate cancer. So
This is what I'm
Was
saying.
that would be just painful all the time, is it?
Oh, well, he did chemo and stuff like
Oh.
that, and he's fine
Mm.
now. Like,
Okay.
but that helped him. And when he was
Chemo is agonising in itself. Anybody that's had a family member or known anyone that goes through chemo, that is pretty horrendous itself.
yeah,
Really?
but that was the
Yeah.
one thing that helped him was being able to smoke because he had no appetite.
Yeah, no appetite, and you get nausea as well, and that can help with
Yeah.
like you get the munchies a
That's
little
what I
bit.
was saying, yeah. Because otherwise he's skinny, like built as it is. He's, you know.
But he was just bone,
And-
eh? When he like,
Someone's backstage, by the way.
I do. Thank you. There's oh Nexus. There's that thing that funny to show $260 is the half ounce price. Hello Nexus, how are you, brother?
Yeah,
Good
good
to see you
mate.
up here.
How you doing, brother?
Chillin', man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
next.
just hello,
Nice
lady.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm just smoking some Nepalese here. That's part of my treatment.
We don't even name how we do it. It's just whatever's.
Yeah. Why is that something from the medical offering or the Nepalese one?
It's a forthcoming one from Medcan.
It's coming. Nice, dude. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be called Nepalese Highland or something like that. It comes from Kathmandu area, up in the highlands. Yeah, it's a high altitude indica that has it's almost got no CBD in it. It's like 0.05%,
Wow.
which there's no 1% CBD to moderate it, so it gets you super high. It's like smoking hash, mate. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's sticky. You know that sticky stuff you get in Kathmandu?
Yeah. Plenty of
I remember those days and give a block of hash for cheap as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was like you'd get an ounce for $10 US.
Yeah, I
it
was
almost
like 15 at the time, I'm only 40.
considerably older than that.
No.
Wait, you were saying you're considerably older than that? Is that what you think?
I guess that's just a nice way of saying I've got a long grey beard. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Got a wizard's beard, I like that already.
Yeah. He's a Gandalf.
Right, I
Really?
like that.
That's good.
Hang on.
Did you ever hear about the weed dispense? It was like a dispenser machine, so you could go and buy weed from a machine that you get a can of Coke. It was an order.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I know it.
And,
I don't think that
yeah, they've got them in Spain too.
No, but it wasn't legalized.
How that machine
But
not
how
been
could they
trusted
put
anywhere, I want to know.
How could they put the machine in jail? Like, it actually was around for a long time.
I don't know, 3 cheers for corrupt.
It just left.
Oh. No, something happened. He's backstage.
I'm still there. Yeah, I'm trying to minimise my task. My
He's
task bar
on the
doesn't want to
next
seem to.
plane, you know, he goes in and out of consciousness like that.
Oh look! What are you doing? What are you doing to him?
What are you doing,
Andy?
Nexus?
Hey, oh no, I'm just trying to get these settings to work, mate.
Nexus got a long, many years connection with this plant, and he's actually you're going through medical conditions at the moment, right? Where you're finding heaps of benefit from the cannabis. And that's just one example. Look at Tessie here.
Well, because I have a nerve disease illness, it'd be totally benefit.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would too.
Oh, Nexus is gone. I didn't get a chance to say g'day.
Look what you've done to him.
I'm actually here.
Yay, Nexus.
Hang on, I
Nexus.
realised why my camera's not working.
I don't know. He'll be there. He's just getting the connection set.
You got a nice little Birrini cake there, mate. You got a Birrini cake?
Yeah, block of Birrini, 5 grams, blazed off Birrini. Bong on. Shout out. Really just jumped up here to say everybody hit that like, FairGrow, and just to say, don't you wish you were as stoned as me right now, winky face?
I probably am.
I might be as well.
Yeah, I might be. There's this stuff I'm smoking is 38%. It's almost as potent as hash. Hang on. If I plug my camera in, that might help.
Yeah.
I got a big tin of hash as well. I forgot to declare that. I haven't got.
The things we do forget.
Oh, he really does look like Candle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking.
No. No, I've been around for a while. I grew my first lot of cannabis in 1976, just in time.
He knows what he's talking about.
Long time ago. Yeah, I've been doing it forever.
Full of wisdom.
Yeah, I teach people biology. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You can detect a voice full of wisdom. This is what I'm saying.
Educated at Cambridge.
There you go.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Is that
graduated.
part of the UK?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cambridge. Yeah.
No, I was just asking Tiff because she's from the UK.
Yeah, I was there for graduated from there in 82.
That's when I was born.
Yeah, it was when you was born.
No, I told you I had a few years on you.
It's your birthday in a few days, actually, Tony, in a week.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, my phone just told me my birthday's coming up. I'm like, thanks for telling me.
Okie dokie. Well, my timer just went off, which means that my mate's coming around soon, and we're going down the shop.
Oh, nice.
So I will say, see you guys, because I'm visually impaired, so I need people's help get around now.
Yeah.
Have a great day, people.
It was lovely to meet you, Nexus.
Oh, it's nice. I'm smoking some of this, that there too. Some of the jealousy. I don't know if that comes out on camera.
That's a real top strain everybody wants to try.
Oh,
Nice.
mate, it's amazing. And this other one I've got is just, the samples of it are just phenomenal. Anyway, I must run. No, actually, I'll do it a little bit slower than a run, but man, good show you got there. I sort of dug that. I like the political side of it, and these politicians, man, they're just going to keep playing football with it, but it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
Yeah.
We'll have recreational in Queensland this year.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping really soon, but we've got our medical, so that's a start.
Yeah, perhaps.
Good. It's moving in the right direction.
It is. It's a positive step. Like, as a cancer patient, as someone that's currently going through chemotherapy, man, it's a blessing.
Definitely, for sure, mate.
Yeah, haven't lost my hair yet, so looks like I'm immune to radiation. Thank you, Australian government, for that.
You take care.
Immune to radiation.
Wish you all the
working on it.
best as well with
See you later, people. Have a good one, eh?
Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up, bro. Madness. Yeah, how cool.
Yeah, dude.
What an
I'm
experience.
right. Absolutely.
Are you 1980?
82, he said.
No, you.
Huh?
You're
I was
1980.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just making sure I had mine right. Because she just had her birthday, and then he had his birthday. So you are both Capricorns.
You Capricorn?
No, I'm an Aquarius. 25th.
Oh, he's Aquarius like me. But
Yeah.
Capricorn.
Aquarius.
I can't remember if they get along or not. My brother is a Capricorn.
Oh,
And he's
Aquarius
so
and the Capricorn get along quite well, actually. I've got a couple of Aquarius friends. I reckon that's probably why, I don't know.
Yeah.
I seem to.
that's trippy, eh? There's been a lot of people I've met just in the past month that have all had a birthday in the same, couple of weeks. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, my birthday's
Universal vibration.
today, next week. So Tuesday.
Tells you that our parents got frisky around the same time of year.
Yeah.
All the cool, people are Aquarius. Telling
Around March time, eh?
Bob Marley is Aquarius. You know,
Yeah, spring fever kicked
Kurt
in.
Cobain was Carly. I can name all the Michael, the football. I mean the basketball
What are you
player.
talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
All the cool people that are Aquarius. They did, but no, sorry. One time I did this thing, and it was all who I'd have as a party, and it didn't matter if they're dead. And it worked out that that Aquarius had a lot of good dead people.
Did you say good dead people? What did you say?
Bob Marley's one. Bob Marley was Aquarius. Kurt Cobain was Aquarius.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what you're talking about. What do you mean, like, collected people? Aquarius, like, yeah.
Good dead people.
Oh, fuck.
They don't
Like
smell
us,
good, yeah.
you know, we're welcome at the graveyard.
Oh, I'm going to get you later. When we're live tonight, fuck you.
Yeah, you might have to ask before. I think I'm a little bit too stoned.
If you guys got your channel, you can drop it in or mention it, like for the people in the chat. Nothing major, but do check these guys' channels out. They got a bit of
if somebody can find it. That'll be cool. Thank you.
Yep. Oh wait, I should give you the moderator thing maybe. Oh, fuck it. Whatever. Oh, what? We'll just go to here for a second. Oops, what are we doing? So, you're probably trying to honor what? How come that place was closed? So you'll ring them up this week and see what they've got, that New Zealand cannabis clinic.
Yeah, because they close at 5. 9 to 5.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Damn it.
$260 for the half an ounce, $100 because you got that's the issue, paying like
I typed
$60 to $100
link
just to talk to a nurse.
Yeah, but I could get paid by disability.
I don't know if one of your mods would do it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, just give me a sec. I'll try. But yeah, if you guys in the moderates have a possibility, I don't know what this is. This is like Burner's channel, unboxing of Cookie's new glass line. $80 American for an eighth, 3.5 grams. I'm not going to watch this, but I'm just showing people if you want to watch it, you can go watch it. Whoa, look at that. Dang. Oh no, it's a rig. It's a dab thing. Dab piece. Alright, go to... See if I can find it here. You wouldn't be able to... Your channel wouldn't be like... But what am I talking about? I'm talking about it, but I'm not fucking sharing it. You guys would be like, what are you talking about, dude? Fuck.
It's actually a really good day for me. My brother Matt, owner, founder of Santa Cruz Shredder, one of my good friends. We've been partners for how many years now? Like 2.
There's Burner. This is how there's millions and billions of dollars being made from a plant. It's just, you know,
innovative things. We're going to price drop like limited amounts, maybe like 100 of each one, and then we'll be able to mass produce it for those that want to, you know, want a good afford.
Expensive prices.
And then just like all the
anyway.
Yosh, can you grab that? You got that?
Yeah, if I type that in, you can't find the channel.
Yeah, I'll get it for you if you want it.
Yeah, I'll go to my chat and I'll be able to give you moderators. Auckland, so what's going on over there? People, the water's still rising though, right?
It's actually a really good day for me. My brother Matt.
I'll be in now for another 10 minutes, so we'll shut it down, I guess. Really appreciate you coming up, everybody in the chat.
No, it was really cool, like talking to you the other day on Tony's panel. And I said to Tony, I like your vibe. I was like, yeah, I can rock with you, sort of thing. You're chill.
I was telling her how you can beatbox and stuff. And she thought I said beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder what she was trying to tell me for a minute. I was like, what are you saying?
I can beach. Nah, yeah. I love music. I made that other channel, so I'm gonna what do you call it? I'll be putting up a lot of music because YouTube don't really promote anything with the cannabis, so this channel is more like
got accepted the monetized pro today.
Oh wow! Congrats, well done.
Yeah, but that was a big deal because my channel was a bit for them.
Your channel's what?
I don't know. They finally didn't really recommend it so much because there used to be a lot of swearing and a lot of drinking, but I've cleaned it up quite a bit.
Yeah. Funny enough, you cleaned it up since I came along in a weird way.
I cleaned it up after I got rid of the other Kiwi off my panel.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you did the link anyway? Oh, thanks. Thanks, FairGrow. That's really nice of you, mate. I appreciate that. No, we didn't come up for that reason. We didn't come up for that reason. I genuinely said to Tony, after we hung out, I said to her, like, yeah. And we was hanging in StreamYards because we were setting up our stream for later. And we saw the notification that you'd gone live. And I said, oh, should we go over there? And Tony was like, yeah, I was going to say, shall we go over there for a little while? And we was like, yeah, come on then.
That's chill. No, thank you. Yeah, obviously, it's not about fucking, it's just about resonating with like-minded people, trying to vibe. I'm really not too impressed with people that yell at a computer and, get all fucking fiery. Like, what the fuck you want to do?
I mean, when you met me, like, it came in hot, like, I had Spoon on my trail and a couple of the other guys, and they're motor mouths, they got no filter, they got no panel etiquette. And they literally like to be yelled at. Like, you have to say, shut the fuck up to them for them to even take notice of, like, you mean your shit. Like, you can't get a word in edgeways. But it gets tiresome after a while, They're good dudes, but it just gets a little bit, and especially, like, you're on a vibe and you're like, I just want to chill. And you're a bit manic for me, your energy, Yeah. So, yeah, no, but I said to Tone, like, we can definitely go hang with you because you're definitely on my wavelength. Like, the energies that I get feisty and sometimes, but not all the time. Like, when I'm chill at night or whatnot, it's a different thing,
Yeah, that was interesting because I didn't really meet that. I've never met that fella. And you're like, he goes, "I'll shut up." And you're like, "Oh, that's cool. I bet you won't." I didn't really realize what you were saying. And just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he didn't stop talking.
I'd come from another panel with him as well, FairGrow. Like, so I'd been on this other panel, and I was like, that ended. So Tony was like, came over here, and he was already here. And I was like, oh no, I've just been with you for the last few hours.
I can't escape. Fuck.
That's exactly what
he's all warmed up.
Shit.
It's a trend though, isn't it? It's getting promoted by YouTube, and it's getting more and more popular just to have an argumentative, like, or debating view. Like, it's just, wow. It's not good for your health. It's really not good
That's
for
what I
your
keep
health.
telling
And there'll
them.
be,
You're not on the TT. You're not in the TTC.
We
Like, you
get a
don't
little
need to
we get
argue. And
we sometimes get a little bit feisty on our channel because we've got a few things to address, you know, some shit that goes on that we don't
yeah,
really like to be part of. But we keep our noses pretty clean. We don't mention anybody on our channel. We refuse to. Like, we're not like looking for clout or drama or that sort of vibe. But we will be like, we're pretty straight talking. So if there is something amiss in the places that we hang out or people are doing some, which is what we're going to be doing tonight, actually, because there's been some stuff go on and people need reminding of how to conduct themselves. So we was going to have like a little discussion about that. But then we usually descend into laughter and a little bit of flirty fun. And we just like, that's usually their vibe. We get the business out the way first and then we do the fun. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's fine. That's good. It's just, I guess, authentic honesty too. You can see the things that's like people that are just, they're making up. I don't know. Yeah, it's not cool. Poking fun, and that's their only go.
This stuff, you can see it, and they create this back and forth between them, and the majority of the time, these small YouTubers are actually in discussions with each other. Like, what can we both? We're both lacking a bit of views. If we pretend we've had a massive argument, and it all goes on behind the scenes, because I've worked behind the scenes and I've seen it happen, so I know what the deal is, and I don't buy into any of it, whereas a lot of people do. And I thought it's abusive because they get a lot of people that are not able to work all this stuff out, and they get them all riled up in communities and use them against each other. And these are people that don't even know that this is not a genuine beef or whatnot a lot of the time.
Yeah, yep. Kind of like tabloids, eh? That just made me think of like those sort of things. They do similar.
Yeah,
I guess
propaganda, right?
Names.
Yeah, all propaganda.
That's why I keep backstaging them, and they keep getting butthurt over it. And they left. I was like, good, because I couldn't take it anymore. I was just so fun.
What are you talking about?
Oh God, backstage Jazzy and Spoon.
Oh, we was talking about that one. You're behind.
Oh. Not to point fingers. So you guys going to do a stream later?
Yeah, not New Zealand time.
We didn't do, we usually do twice a week, but last week we didn't do any because Tony wasn't really well and I had a super busy week. So we've got a fair bit to talk about because we didn't stream all last week, which is unusual for us.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah. That's why we was on stream. I was yakking it up, and then we was like, "Oh, you're live. We've got time. We've got time to go hang for a little while."
Yep. Yeah. So people. Oh shit.
Because of our time,
the
time zone, we do it one, so she's stay up all day, all night, and then we do on Friday, but it's my Saturday. I've got to get up like 8:30 in the morning for it.
All right.
Yeah. And I've been up since 6:30 yesterday morning now. Like I'm always coming up 24 hours that I've been awake now. So I had to go all the way around.
Wow.
That's good though. That means she'll get loopy later.
Yeah, but it makes sense because we're like Tony's that side of the world and I'm this side of the world, and we got like obviously shared audiences and things. So it's like half of our audience that are Aussies or Kiwis and things can make it to like the Tuesday one, and then the other half, like Americans, UK and whatnot, can all come to the Friday one. And sometimes like a few of the others, like because it's the weekend, sometimes you'll get a few of the Aussies and Kiwis in, even though, even on the Friday, because it's technically Saturday, and it's like, all right, it's the weekend, so they can be there.
They're still awake, yeah.
Yeah. So, and plus it just seems the fairer way to do it, because it would be hard if one of us always had to be the one to get up early, or,
Yeah, for sure. And on the audience, exactly. It's a good part. like you're making it fair for everyone.
Yeah, we've only been streaming. Like we only built the channel. It was December, the first week of, I think it was about the 11th of December we built it, and we didn't start streaming until the 21st of December. So we haven't been going that long, you know. But me and Tony have been on YouTube for years in various communities. I work behind the scenes, and Tony's got her channel, and I've got a tiny little thing that I just started experimenting stuff on there because I do stuff behind the scenes, and just for me, that's my own little personal to experiment, you know, where I'm trying to learn different techniques and things. But yeah, we just decided to come together because me and her hang out an awful lot. Anyway, we enjoy each other's company. We've always like seen each other in mixed communities, and we just get, you know, and it was like, oh, well, why not have a little fun space of our own, you know, that's not all drama fueled, that's not all toxic, and it's just like, yeah, we're there to just like be us, have a nice little time, maybe talk about a few situations when they crop up, but yeah, without looking for them.
It's cool. Do what you do, man. It's good. You're on the same wavelength and you fucking enjoy company. It's positive, it's progressive. Do it.
Yeah, we've been through the ringer. Like, we've been through a few bad situations on YouTube with people, you know, that are manipulators or users, or they say the one thing and they're not, or they backstab you, or so. Yeah, it really was chemistry. Me and Tony just clicked. Like, our energy was really on that level, you know, when you just, and yeah, instantly, and it feels like you've known each other for a lifetime, and you can enter, and yeah, it's just, yeah, that's what it was. And that's what we based everything on, and was our chemistry.
I think it's been 90 minutes. I'm going to end the stream. I really appreciate everybody's company. So definitely, there's a link in the chat for people. If you want to check out this channel, please go do. It'll be on pretty soon in a few hours. But just subscribe and get a notification either way. What I'll finish with saying, look inside yourself, find a direction, follow the path, be the best you can be honest, be yourself, follow your intuition, and just recognize nature has a remedy.
Authentic.
Do you ladies have anything to say?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Be authentic. I definitely am all about that. Be an authentic version of yourself, and authentic in every way that you conduct yourself.
Try and be the change you want to see.
It was really nice everyone in the chat as well, everyone. You all have a cool
and surround yourself with positive people and good stuff will happen.
For sure. That's a big part of it as well, energy.
Wiggity. All right. Yeah, I see everybody soon.
Once again, mate, listening to your chilled, dulcet tones.
Always. Appreciate it. I'll just put this song on and end it. Thank you, everyone. Talk soon.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Bye.